Hello ladies! So in this video I want to touch upon a very important subject because it's something that I see a lot of women struggle with, and that is procrastination. Putting things off, putting their dreams on hold and starting things but perhaps never actually following those things through. Now I think the first thing that I want to say upon this subject is that listen to what you are telling yourself. Because remember that whatever we focus on expands, okay? So if you are saying to yourself, oh, I'm always procrastinating on things, I always put things off, I wish I followed through on things, you are giving more energy to that procrastination, okay? So the first very simple thing that you can do is just stop beating yourself up about the fact that you do procrastinate, okay? Start to use more empowering language. Look how much I'm progressing, even if it's just a really, really small thing that you've done that day. So that would be the first thing. Just pay attention to your language that you're using and don't beat yourself up when you are procrastinating. Now, the second thing to understand is that procrastination, that is normally the surface issue, okay? So that's how it is showing up in our day-to-day life. We put things off, we maybe are very indecisive with things, we start things only to give up a week later, okay? So procrastination can take many different shapes, but it's important to realize that's just the surface level. Below the surface, there is something else going on that is actually causing you to procrastinate. So the next thing to overcome procrastination is to figure out, why am I actually putting things off? And procrastination normally links to a fear, low-lying fears, perhaps something within your subconscious that is saying to you, don't do this today, or it's safer for you to not do this, or if you do this, there is that fear of rejection or criticism, or that fear of being judged. So it's really important to understand, what are the low-lying beliefs that you have about yourself and about the world around you that are causing you to procrastinate. So let me give you a quick example on this. One of my clients that I was working with, she was in the process of training to become a coach, and one of the things that she was really procrastinating on was sharing her message, showing up online, getting visible and sharing her message with her audience. And when we started to dig into why she was actually procrastinating, we realized that this was linked to a deep-rooted fear of, I am not worthy of being seen. And she had this memory of a little girl where she wanted to do this performance for her auntie who was looking after her, and her auntie said, stop being a show-off, little girls should be seen and not heard. And that one memory, although it didn't create a belief that I'm not worthy of being seen, it actually sowed the seed. And then what happened was, every other experience that she had where she felt not good enough of being seen, that reinforced that earlier memory, actually reinforced the belief of, I am not worthy of being seen. So this is a really interesting thing about belief work. Often it is linked to very, very early childhood memories where something has happened to us or somebody has said something to us, and in that very childlike, egocentric mind, we make that to mean something about us, something about who we are, okay? So as I said, it's important to get to the root cause of the procrastination. What is the limiting fear or belief that you have about yourself that is causing you to procrastinate? And then once you've identified that, the next step would be to figure out how to then actually change that belief, okay? So how to create a new, more empowering story for yourself. So there's a number of different ways that you can do this, but a very simple suggestion, and this is something that you could do right away, would be to take that limiting belief and basically, what would be a more positive affirmation that you could create around that? So let's take the client that I just told you about. Her limiting belief was, I am not worthy of being seen. Okay, so a new, more empowering statement would be, I am worthy of being seen. Okay, so there's a number of different ways that you can reprogram beliefs. Affirmations are just a very, very simple way to do this. And it was actually something that my client started to do, amongst other things, but the affirmation that she repeated every day was, I am worthy of being seen. And what that actually did was it helped her overcome the procrastination. Now, on a final note, something else that I often see with procrastination is people being scared of the unknown, okay? People being uncomfortable getting out of their comfort zone. So maybe it's you're procrastinating on something you really want to do, but you're scared of doing because it's completely new to you, okay? And I see this a lot with the women that I support in becoming a coach. They procrastinate on things that they need to do in their business because they're a little bit scary, okay? So we've spoke about getting to the root of that fear. But another thing that you can do here is challenge yourself to do one thing that is outside of your comfort zone every single day, even if it is a really, really small thing. Because what you will find is that action neutralizes fear. So that procrastination, remember, that is linked to fear. But when we take action, we normally realize the fears that we had are actually, they don't have any sort of merit at all. Okay, so some sort of action, take some sort of action that puts you outside of your comfort zone. And what you will find, even if you are just taking a teeny tiny little step, so even if it's just one tiny little thing that you do in the grand scheme of things, in terms of everything that you have to do to reach your goal, in that energy of I am progressing, even if it's just a tiny little bit, you will find the next day it's easy to keep progressing and keep progressing because you're in that energy of progression. And when you're in that energy of progression, it doesn't make sense to you to then procrastinate. You don't want to lose that forward momentum. So you feel inspired to actually keep going. So I'd love to know, is procrastination something that you struggle with? How is it showing up in your life? And if you have got any suggestions of how you've been dealing with procrastination, I would love to know. So please feel free to let me know in the comments below. And I will... All right, ladies, well, I will speak with you again soon. Lots of love.